Welcome to your Daily 5 for Monday, July 17th, 2023. I watched the next film in the Apocalypse tetralogy, which I did the review of Gollum on the last show, but I watched the next film chronologically. I don't know if there's actually any real sequence to these, but I am going in chronological order. It is called The War of the Worlds Next Century from 1981 by Peter, I'm using the Americanized version, Zolkin, I think? Or Solkin, I don't know, one or the other. In any event, I had talked in Gollum how I expected that because these movies were made relatively close together, that the same type of visual flair and political themes would probably be present in the next film, just with a slightly bigger budget, perhaps, and a bigger scale. And that is exactly what The War of the Worlds Next Century is. In fact, I had talked about that Gollum was a somewhat ambiguous film in terms of some of the things you're supposed to interpret in it. Well, War of the Worlds Next Century is even more of an interpretive film. Now, it's more explicitly political. I think that's probably a fair statement. But its ending, I would be very curious what people would make of its ending. Now, I'll talk about it in the Friday show, of course. But War of the Worlds Next Century, I thought was fantastic. And it definitely was a movie where you can feel that there was more money, a little bit more latitude to tell the story. I would say it's still somewhat restrained in that it really focuses on one character, although it has a global scale. Although Gollum had that too, to be fair. Gollum had it as post-apocalyptic global scale, whereas War of the Worlds Next Century is about, as its title implies, literally it is a variation on the Martian invasion idea and how the political manipulation of media affects that. So in the very opening of the film, there's a dedication to both H.G. Wells and Orson Welles, and it is very clear when you watch the movie why that dedication is there. There is absolutely a story being told that mixes that Martian invasion idea, that classic sci-fi idea that Martians arrive, and this idea that people are being fed a narrative, and then it's bolted on with the idea of, okay, there is some type of governmental manipulation in there. And that's not giving away the whole thing. I'll go through the entire story on Friday, but it's a great movie. I really am so happy. Even if the other two movies are not good, which I am not anticipating, I think these movies are all going to appeal to me. But even if the other two movies are not as good as these first two, it was worth getting this set for these two movies, because these are movies that I feel like go right up there with something like Stalker or On the Silver Globe, movies that are really, really interesting interpretations of a political climate by filmmakers who could not explicitly criticize what was going on. And that allowed for these wonderful metaphorical and allegorical stories where they were expressing what their discontent was without being able to explicitly come out and say, oh, what's going on is bad. I mean, that is the nature of storytelling. And many times when storytelling is done like this, it actually is better than if they had just come out with a movie that said communism is bad or, government overreach is bad. You can do those movies, and certainly those movies have been done, but I don't know that they have the same power as something like this, because typically they're not done all that subtly. And so, once you understand, and this is really true of any film, honestly, when the message is just blatantly explicit, very often the movie fails to have any lasting power, because once you know what the message is, if it's being hammered into your head, you kind of lose interest because you know what it is. The gimmick is there. It's exposed very quickly, and there's nothing to it. The other way I've seen it done is as a very, very late film kind of twist where they come out with a very explicit message. Yeah, it sometimes works. That's better than message through the whole film. But this is the type of movie I like. This where there's very clearly a couple of themes being discussed and a interpretive ending where you really bring to it and take out of it what you see of the world and what world the movie portrays for you. So I have had a absolute blast with these first two films. Gollum was great. War of the Worlds Next Century is fantastic. I am looking forward to watching the rest. So again, because Gollum is on YouTube, so you can watch it for free. If you watch that and like that, you're going to love this movie. So War of the Worlds Next Century, 1981, fantastic. Can't wait to watch the next two. Later.